What's going on YouTube? It's Shot Callers Podcast, back here with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the Dallas Mavericks and how come they haven't been talked about during this hot streak in January. Now, if you're not aware, they were 10-2 in the month of January, and they went on like a 7 to 8 game win streak at the beginning of January, which was really nice to see because Luka, Doncic, and the Mavericks, for me personally, is always a team that should never be slept on. And I remember just 2 years ago when they were facing the Clippers in the Western semifinals, how they really, in my opinion, should have won that series. And unfortunately, Porzingis went down with an injury. And so the next year, it was kind of just like disappointing to see that they lost again. But now, I'm going to stick with the Dallas Mavericks. I think they can really make some noise in the West and that they shouldn't be slept on. So I'm here to talk about them, kind of some of the things that they've been doing well, some things I'm really excited to actually see. I'm especially excited to see that Porzingis is finally stepping into that number 2 option that Luka has really needed this season. And I'm actually very surprised. I'm happy to see that Jason Kidd had finally stepped up as a coach on the offensive side because defensively this team has still been pretty solid throughout the season. A little dips here and there, but it's bound to happen in an 82-game season. But for the most part, they've been really solid. And that's what I'm really here to talk about. I'm not really here to talk about stats. I'm not going to really bring up too much stats into this video, but more so just talk about how well they've been playing recently and how they should be talked about. So with that said, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a beat. If this is your first time on the channel, hi, my name is Private KJ, Shot Callers Podcast, whatever you want to call it. And without further ado, let's get started. So like I said, this isn't going to really be more so of a video that I bring up stats into this and I talk about this too deeply. This is probably going to be an under 10-minute video, kind of short snippet, just really more giving out shout-outs to the Dallas Mavericks for how they've been playing. And if you're not aware, I will upload, now that I'm finally gotten in the groove with college, if you're not aware I'm in college, I will upload back twice a day. So let's just kick right into this. Now, Luka Doncic. So we all understand that, at least for me personally, and if you watch the Mavericks play, Luka has the ball in his hands way too much. Now, understandably, it makes sense. I mean, when you're that good and that talented, you give the ball to your superstar. It's just that plain and simple. You wouldn't want it in any other person's hands. He's a really good playmaker. He's a deadly passer. He's a great scorer when he wants to be. And it's been nice to see that even though Luka came out of shape in the beginning of the season, which I thought played a part of it in the beginning, because he was somewhat inefficient at the very beginning at least. It's nice to see that he's really just getting in the groove, settling down, and finding his niche. And of course, he's going to make the All-Star team. No one was ever really worried about that. But we are more so worried about the success of the team because this was the first year Luka really faced adversity outside of his rookie year. And what I mean by that is the expectation of what we thought the Mavericks could be were really being lowered throughout the beginning of the season because we didn't know what to expect. We understood that Jason Kidd is a more defensive-minded coach, but he really hadn't proven much in the NBA up until this point. And so there was actually quite a few question marks going into this outside of, I believe, their role players. But it was more so, were their role players good enough, and was Porzingis going to step up and be that second option? And so far, and during this win streak, he has been, and they all have been, okay? I want to give a shout out to Jalen Brunson, who, in the eyes of diehard NBA fans, can be slightly overrated at times because I have heard some trade rumors and some packages thrown out for Jalen Brunson. And props to Jalen Brunson. He's been a baller this season. If you're not aware, he's been a really good secondary ball handler to Jalen Brunson. And at the beginning of the year, I was the one petitioning, saying that Brunson needs to get more ball handling responsibilities. He's been really good. But there's sort of a dimension to this game that's missing that I think he could add, and I'm not really sure what it is because he's just like he's more of like a jack of all trades. I'll just put it that way. Solid mid-range shooter, solid 3-point shooter. He's a well playmaker. He's a good enough playmaker. Solid passer. He's a capable defender. There's nothing that he's great at, but when it comes to what you want out of a role player, he can do multiple things, which you appreciate when it comes to playing next to Luka Doncic at the guard position. And when it comes to Porzingis, we all understood his struggles at the beginning of the year. And I really wasn't surprised. I was more so waiting, like I said, towards All-Star break to really see Porzingis break out, and I'm so glad I was holding out on him. Porzingis has been doing great during this run. Like I said, they're 10-2 in the month of January. And the reason why I'm really highlighting this for Dallas is I just find it funny how NBA fans are so quick, and I guess sports fans for that matter too, are so quick to flip-flop on people. When you're losing, there's something wrong. There's a changes to be made. A player needs to go. Some source, something like that. And it was interesting to see that the Dallas Mavericks, they just stuck with it. They picked it up. They made the adjustments. I really like Jason Kidd's coaching decision. I like the three-point attempts. They've gone up in the month of January, which I really like to see. Something that I thought needed to be prevalent. I'm not sure if this was talked to, but Luka Doncic hey, this is your team. Get it together. Enough with the BS, basically. And we all know Luka Doncic could get his own, but I wasn't seeing, me personally, Mavericks play for each other. I was more seeing just individualized basketball. And like I said, when it comes to Luka, when you're that ball dominant, you got to get your role players to buy in, basically. Now, Hardaway doing his thing like per usual. He's more like a firecracker type player. He'll have his on and off nights, but when he's on, he's on. Jalen Brunson, I already shouted him out. He's doing well. Dwight Powell, just a solid athletic dunker. Okay rim protector for the backup big man who can actually start at times too. So shout out to him. Dorian Finney-Smith, oh my goodness, love it. 3-and-D player. I love all my 3-and-D players out there. So shout out to Dorian Finney-Smith doing his thing. Shooting well from 3, by the way. So a bit of a quirky jump shot, but shooting well from 3 this year. At least good enough, we'll say that. And that's the main part about it. It is the 3-point percentage has been there during this streak. And I think that's really what Luka has needed to really see his shooting and his scoring basically get boosted. We've seen some insane stats from Luka, but especially on this win streak, it's been getting posted. And they just beat the Grizzlies by 13 points yesterday. So that was really nice to see, because the Grizzlies have been a solid team throughout this entire span. And that's what I mean by when I'm saying play with each other and play for each other. Because when Luka is dishing out and his role players are hitting, it opens up the floor so much for him to be an aggressive scorer. And that's what I've really seen. So I want to give props to Jason Kidd for really being able to get his team back on the right track and get him off the hot seat. Because I'm not really sure if I was seeing Jason Kidd in any firing rumors. But like I said, he hadn't really proven much for his time in the NBA as a head coach. Outside of really with the Bucks, who were kind of disappointing in the playoffs when he was at coach, we were just unsure about Kidd. Other than the fact that he was a great point guard in the league, maybe he can help Luka. So that was a really interesting time to kind of get together, and I'm glad to see it happen because, like I said, I have the Mavericks, me personally, preseason rankings as my 4 seed. I thought they could be that good, assuming Porzingis could come back and do his thing. And sure enough, that's exactly what it's been. So, like I said, this was a quick little video. Shout out to the Dallas Mavericks, for getting it together. With that said, that'll conclude today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a beat. If you're not aware, this is a quick little announcement. I am creating a podcast with my friend Dylan, and we're pretty much starting that up in the summer. We're going to make a TikTok account. It's a separate YouTube channel where we talk strictly basketball, which is something that I've been wanting to do for the longest time now. And like I said, it was difficult to settle in college to really find a groove, but now that I have, I'm ready to go and truly start uploading. So we're gonna start that up at some point within this spring, if not summer. And we're gonna have TikTok to advertise. We'll have the whole schmeal. So stay tuned for that. I'll keep you guys posted and updated on that. But with that said, shot callers out.